Hi guys, welcome. Today we have three major topics. The third part of the video deals with Iraq's security and how that is affecting the IQD rate or the potential of the IQD rate. The first part has to do with Iraq signing a deal with Chevron, U.S. corporation, oil corporation. This is excellent news for Iraq. But it's the second part of the video that I can discuss right now. There are news reports all over the internet in the international feed, except from Washington, D.C., that U.S. troops will be leaving Iraq in September. However, the Pentagon doesn't know anything about it and has said that they have no plans to leave Iraq in September 2025. So the channel will keep you updated on this subject, but guys, newspapers from all over the world and even online forums are reporting this, but the Pentagon says they don't know anything about it. There is a lot of information. On yesterday, gold was at $3,361.60 per ounce. Silver was at $38 on yesterday, August 20th. The channel began investing in gold when gold was between $1,500 to $1,800 per ounce. Guys, I keep harping on gold because that is the only way I know to protect you from troubling times. However, you need to take possession of your gold and bury it in the ground along with your currencies so that hurricanes, fires, earthquakes, or thieves cannot reach it. We don't know what will happen in the future. I implore you to watch the movie Leave the World Behind, not for entertainment, but for learning. No, not all of us are Obama fans. However, a president told us in the best way he could what to expect. I implore you to take possession of your gold and silver and bury it. Invest a little each month with the intent of taking possession. Since Israel announced its plans to take over Gaza, a quiet storm has risen in the Middle East. Few people are saying anything. However, the anger is there and it is strong.
Iraq has signed an agreement in principle with Chevron to advance the Nasiriyah project, covering 4 exploration blocks, and to help develop additional producing oil fields, Prime Minister Mohammed Shia al-Sudani announced on August 19, 2025. The move signals Baghdad's continued push to bring major U.S. operators deeper into the country's energy sector. Chevron says it brings the resources, experience, and technology needed to accelerate Iraq's oil and gas development, with Corporate Business Development Vice President Frank Mount highlighting the company's track record in large, complex projects. The Nasiriyah focus builds on Iraq's earlier decision in 2021 to authorize the national oil company to negotiate with Chevron for development in Dinar province, where the government's plan envisioned massive oil, gas, and water injection works, targeting an initial 600,000 barrels per day within 7 years of project start. Baghdad has been revising contract terms to lure back global majors after years of retrenchment. Over the past 2 years, those changes helped secure new deals with Total Energies and BP, part of a broader wave of commitments totaling more than $50 billion, while the Prime Minister's office touts a new approach to international investment, especially from U.S. companies. For Iraq, the Chevron agreement is intended to boost upstream capacity, stabilize field development with modern water injection, and send a signal to markets that the country is open for business on globally competitive terms. For investors and energy watchers, the headline is clear. Iraq is courting scale, technology, and capital to turn long-planned projects like Nasiriyah into production growth over the next decade. Iraq's uphill battle to regulate its militias, and what it means for investment and the dinar. Iraq is trying to bring powerful militias, most of them grouped under the Popular Mobilization Forces or PMF, firmly under state control. This isn't just an internal turf fight, it's a make-or-break test for security, foreign investment, and by extension, any credible path to a stronger Iraqi dinar. As a recent analysis puts it, Baghdad is pushing to rein in PMF factions amid fresh legislation and recurring flashpoints. Because without real regulation, violent incidents will keep recurring. The PMF emerged in 2014 to fight ISIS, and was later granted official status by law, creating a commission within the state while leaving space for factional autonomy and external influence. That hybrid status, part state, part party militia, has been the core problem ever since. It gives some brigades budgets and legal cover, even as they maintain their own chains of command and economic interests. This year, lawmakers and the government have debated new rules that would formalize PMF members' employment and place the force under the Prime Minister's authority as Commander-in-Chief. Supporters say this is the path to discipline and accountability. Critics warn it risks locking in militia power if oversight is weak. The headline is the same either way. Regulation is coming, but the details will determine whether the state gains control or merely rubber stamps it. Events on the ground show why this is urgent. After a July clash in Baghdad that left 3 dead, the Prime Minister ordered disciplinary removals and legal referrals for PMF commanders involved, an unusually tough move that underscored how some units still act beyond formal orders. These steps signal intent, but they also expose the limits of Baghdad's leverage when factions can mobilize men, money, and media at short notice. The regional backdrop adds more friction. Iran-aligned Iraqi factions have toggled between restraint and escalation in recent years, sometimes staying quiet to preserve political gains, other times launching drone or rocket attacks that rattle markets and partners. That variability, neither full proxy control nor full independence, creates a constant risk premium for anyone doing business in Iraq. So, why does regulation matter for investors? Well, foreign investors, they look first for safety and predictability. The U.S. State Department's 2024 Investment Climate Statement bluntly notes an uneven security environment and governance challenges. Basically, that's shorthand for the same militia and state overlap investors see in the headlines. When authorities show they can prevent intimidation, protect facilities, and punish offenders, the risk premium narrows, and honestly, capital becomes more patient. You can really see the difference in energy projects. When Baghdad aligns terms and improves operating security, big deals move forward. Total Energy's multi-billion-dollar package has advanced from paper to construction phases this year, a clear vote of confidence that depends on stable sites, safe logistics, and enforceable contracts. More projects like that, well, they require and reinforce security sector discipline. So, why does security matter for the increase in the value of the dinar? Iraq runs a managed exchange rate, anchored to the US dollar. In 2023, authorities adjusted the official rate, making for a stronger dinar, and have since focused on closing the gap with the parallel market, tightening compliance, and stabilizing inflation. The IMF's recent reviews really underline a simple point: currency stability, and any talk of appreciation rest on credible policy, clean finance, and steady capital inflows, not just slogans. And that in turn depends on a safer business climate. Security actually feeds the foreign exchange story in 3 ways. First, fewer disruptions mean more oil and non-oil investment, which lifts growth and reserves. Second, lower risk brings cheaper financing and more foreign direct investment, money that supports the balance of payments. Third, a state that can police armed actors is way better able to enforce anti-money laundering and sanctions rules that affect dollar flows and the exchange market. Academic and policy work on Iraq's exchange dynamics has repeatedly flagged how governance and parallel market pressures intersect, again pointing back to rule of law and security sector control. The bottom line is this: regulating the militias is not a side issue, it's the keystone. Suppose Baghdad can translate draft laws and high-profile disciplinary moves into sustained, even-handed control of armed groups. In that case, Iraq will look safer to investors, mega projects will stack up, and the macro underpinnings for any serious dinar revaluation will strengthen. If not, the country will keep paying a militia premium and higher costs, delayed projects, and a currency constrained by the constant need to manage risk rather than attract capital.